There's a jellyfish alive right now that has never died, a bird that can perfectly copy a chainsaw, and a fish that just decided land looked better. These aren't myths, these are real, and they're about to break your brain. Number 1. The immortal jellyfish. Every living thing on this planet follows the same biological contract. You're born, you grow, you age, your cells slowly lose the ability to repair themselves, and eventually, you die. That's not an opinion. That's the fundamental rule of life on Earth. It applies to every plant, every animal, every human being that has ever existed. Except one, meet the immortal jellyfish. Now, before you think that nickname is an exaggeration, it isn't. This animal is not just long-lived, it doesn't just age slowly. Under the right conditions, it is biologically immortal, confirmed by scientists, peer-reviewed, real. Now here's the first thing that'll catch you off guard. This creature is absolutely tiny, less than 0.2 inches across when fully grown, smaller than your pinky nail. You could lose one in a teaspoon of water. But size means nothing here, because what this jellyfish does at a cellular level is something no other creature on Earth can do. When the immortal jellyfish gets injured, starved, or faces any kind of serious biological stress, instead of breaking down and dying like everything else, it reverses. Its body triggers a process called transdifferentiation. Here's what that actually means in plain language. Its fully grown adult cells, cells that have already developed into what they're supposed to be, transform back into younger, earlier versions of themselves. The jellyfish doesn't just stop aging, it unages. It physically regresses all the way back to its juvenile polyp state and restarts its entire life cycle from the beginning. Scientists have compared it to a butterfly reverting back into a caterpillar. Except that's impossible. Except for this jellyfish, it's just a regular Tuesday. And here's what makes it truly immortal. This process has no known limit. As long as the jellyfish holds on to its nerve center, the biological trigger for the whole reversal, and nothing eats it, it can repeat this cycle forever. No expiration date, no biological clock running out. Just an endless loop of life, reset, repeat. Researchers all over the world are studying this animal right now because the implications go far beyond marine biology. If science can crack exactly how transdifferentiation works, how a cell forgets what it became and starts completely over, the potential applications for aging research, regenerative medicine, and cancer treatment are staggering. One of the tiniest, most fragile-looking creatures in the ocean could be holding the answer to one of humanity's oldest questions. And here's the part that gets me every time. The immortal jellyfish isn't some rare deep-sea mystery. It's found in oceans all over the world. The Mediterranean, the Atlantic, the Pacific. It's not hiding. It's just out there, floating around, quietly doing the impossible, completely unbothered. Living forever in plain sight while the rest of us age and worry about it. So the immortal jellyfish wins on pure biology. It cracked the code on death itself. But our next animal wins on something completely different. Something that the first time you hear it, you will swear has been edited. Because this bird doesn't cheat death. It does something that in some ways is even more impressive. It steals sound, any sound, every sound. Whatever it hears, it owns permanently. And what it can do with that ability will genuinely stop you in your tracks. Number 2, the lyre bird. Deep in the rainforests of southeastern Australia lives a bird that looks, honestly, pretty unremarkable. Long tail feathers, brownish body, spends most of its time on the forest floor. Nothing about its appearance gives away what it's capable of. It's called the lyre bird. From the moment it opens its beak, everything you thought you knew about animal communication goes straight out the window. The lyre bird has the most complex and sophisticated vocal ability of any animal on Earth. Using a specialized organ called the syrinx, a bird's version of a voice box but operating on a completely different level to anything else in nature, the lyre bird can produce an almost unlimited range of sounds with near-perfect accuracy. And we are not talking about a few bird calls here. We are talking about chainsaws, camera shutters clicking, car alarms, construction site machinery running simultaneously, flutes, entire flocks of multiple bird species at once. There are documented cases of lyre birds in captivity mimicking the full soundscape of a nearby construction site so accurately that people standing outside genuinely could not tell the difference between the bird and the actual machines. Read that again. A bird doing a perfect impression of an entire construction site. Not one sound, the whole thing. Layered, simultaneous, flawless. Three things make this possible working together at an extraordinary level: exceptional hearing, a long-term sound memory that never seems to fade, and that uniquely complex syrinx that gives the lyre bird a vocal range no other creature, including humans, can come close to matching. Unlike most birds that are born with a fixed set of calls, the lyre bird is a lifelong learner. It hears something once, stores it, and adds it permanently to its library. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. These sounds are passed down culturally between generations. Younger males learn from older males, meaning certain sounds get transmitted through bird generations like a musical tradition. There are lyre birds today performing sounds taught to them by birds that are long gone, and the lyre bird doesn't just copy sounds in isolation, it weaves them together into elaborate layered performances. This isn't mimicry the way a basic echo is mimicry. This is composition. This bird is building something every time it performs. The reason behind all of this comes down to one thing: attraction. Male lyre birds perform to impress females during mating season, and the more extensive and accurate a male's sound library is, the more desirable he becomes. The female is essentially judging a talent competition. Every year, and the male with the most impressive, most varied, most convincing performance wins. But it goes even deeper than that. Male lyre birds have been documented deliberately mimicking the alarm calls of other birds to prevent females from leaving during mating. This bird isn't just talented, it's strategic. It's using its gift to run a calculated performance, and it works every time. There are recordings of lyre birds in Australian zoos that learned the sounds of nearby construction during renovations, and then kept performing those sounds for years after the construction was finished. Somewhere out there right now, a lyre bird is still doing a perfect impression of a jackhammer that stopped running a decade ago. That's not mimicry, that's memory. That's a bird that genuinely loves what it does and never forgets a single note. So we've had an animal that made death optional and a bird that can steal and perform any sound on Earth. But our last animal did something even more fundamental than both of those. It took its entire biological identity, everything evolution had spent hundreds of millions of years building, and just walked away from it. Literally. This is the fish that left the ocean, and somehow, impossibly, it worked. Number 3. The mudskipper. Meet the mudskipper. Found across the mudflats, mangroves, and estuaries of Africa, Asia, and Australia. Up to 12 inches long. Bulging eyes perched on top of its head. Stubby little pectoral fins it uses like arms. And a way of moving across land that can only be described as aggressively confident flopping. It looks like something that got confused halfway through becoming a frog, and it is one of the most scientifically significant animals on the planet. Here is the fundamental rule of being a fish. You breathe through gills. Your gills extract oxygen from water, remove the water, you suffocate. That rule has held for hundreds of millions of years across hundreds of thousands of species. The mudskipper breaks it in multiple ways, simultaneously. First, the mudskipper has developed air pockets around its gills that let it carry a supply of oxygenated water onto land with it. It breathes from its own built-in biological reserve, like a scuba tank, except it grew it. Second, when its skin stays moist, the mudskipper can absorb oxygen directly through the lining of its skin, mouth, and throat. A process called cutaneous respiration. Its skin breathes air, a fish, breathing through its skin on land, the same way an earthworm does, except it's a fish. And then there's the movement. Its pectoral fins have evolved to work almost like primitive limbs, propping it up, pushing it forward, giving it genuine mobility across surfaces. Mudskippers have been documented climbing mangrove roots, scaling low branches, a fish, climbing a tree. Take a moment with that. The mudskipper isn't just a bizarre and entertaining animal, though it absolutely is both of those things. It carries real evolutionary weight. Biologists point to it as a living demonstration of the transition ancient fish made when they first moved from water to land, the single most consequential evolutionary leap in vertebrate history. That transition led to amphibians, to reptiles, to mammals, eventually to us. Every time a mudskipper hauls itself out of the water and props up on those stubby fins, it's performing a version of the most important moment in our entire evolutionary story, on a mudflat, every single day, without any idea how significant it is. 3 animals, one that reset death entirely, one that can steal and perform any sound the world produces, and one that walked out of the ocean and built a life on land. Nature has been quietly breaking its own rules for millions of years, and most of us walk right past it every day. So tell me in the comments, which one of these 3 hit you the hardest? And if this video did anything for you, you already know what to do. See you in the next one.